Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not home right now. Unless you're a first-time viewer of this channel, then you might think I live in a gigantic blue box. I'm traveling, I'm in Europe, I'm here for a little vacation, and then I'll be starting my European tour. So quick shout out if you haven't gotten a ticket yet. You still can to some of the shows. Now, that's all to say that I was trying to enjoy myself. I was trying to soak in the culture and enjoy some good food, take some relaxing walks. But every time I go outside, something happens. And every single time it happens when I'm on vacation, I'm enjoying myself, and then I see a chess game. And it's not one of my own chess games. Those make me sad enough. It's a game that one of you played. And this was the worst game I've seen in some years. I watched this game and then I audibly gagged. So I thought the best thing to do is not to hide it from the public, but to share it with all of you. So that's why we're here. I'll be showing you a chess game. Maybe you'll learn a few things, but more than anything, you might feel sick to your stomach. All right. I mean, I like to take you guys down with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be the only one suffering. So I saw this game. This game was uploaded somewhere, and I managed to find the game. Now, out of respect, I will not be telling you who the players are. There are 300s. Which is, what like half of this viewing audience is. So, there's a lot to learn. And of course, they get honorary Grandmaster titles. They are not really Grandmasters, but sometimes you guys don't know that. So the game was normal for 3 moves. And the game was 32 moves long. So it's going to be a really good video. White opened with e4. That was the last normal move, almost. Black played d5. And either black is playing the Scandinavian defense or I don't really know. Black might just be playing d5. Black might not even know that the pawn could take the pawn. It's a very common thing that happens at beginner level. And now white plays knight c3. I think white knew that they were supposed to develop the knight to the f3 square, but they were like, well, I got to go here because, that supports my pawn. That's what I'm supposed to do. Or white learned the Vienna. See, a lot of you also do this. You learn the Vienna and then you play e4, knight c3, and you're like, I'm playing the Vienna. No, you're not. That's not how that works. The Vienna is against the king's pawn. This is the Scandinavian defense. But I digress. Black plays d4. We are now 2 moves into the game. When I said that we're done now, we're done now. What you're about to see next, you should not ever try to replicate. Frankly, you shouldn't even be subjected to viewing it. But like I said in the beginning, I'm taking you down with me. The knight is under attack. The knight has a lot of different safe moves. It goes here. Okay, that's relatively reasonable. It's not attacking anything. For any beginners watching, this is not an attack by the knight on any of these pawns because an attack is a threat to capture. You're not threatening to capture any of these pawns because you would just lose the knight. The only safe move for the knight would be to a3. Fine. Black plays a6. Now white has no choice. The only move in the position that is reasonable at all is to move the knight to the a3 square, but we're finished. We're done. The video is basically over. I told you that we're only going to have 3 normal moves, and that is all we got. In this position, white proceeded to take the pawn. Now, this is how you know we are off to a good start. And I'm going to drop a little bit more advice here on the audience. I joked that you guys are 50% rated 300. That's not true, but you are like 50% rated 1,000 and below. So, there is something that you can learn. And what I will teach you here is you should basically spend the majority of your game thinking about what your opponents can do to you and if they can capture any of your pieces. You need to look at what your opponent's pieces can see, not just your pieces. White did not do that. White lost a knight. And white also did not do that on this next move. They violated that rule, which is looking at what your opponent can do, but also they violated the rule of you attack an enemy piece and then don't think where it's going to go. So in this position, we can attack the queen with the knight. We can also attack the queen with the pawn. White did that, obviously, because white's like, I'm going to attack the queen. It must be a good move. That's actually not how chess works. You don't get any bonus points for attacking your enemy pieces. The queen wants to take the pawn. It can take the pawn on e4 because it's not protected, so a good move would be d3 followed by one of those moves. But okay, white plays c3, right? And now white loses a pawn in the center of the board. And of course, white is losing. But you know that we are just getting started. If you have ever watched any of my videos, this is going to be added to the playlist How to Lose at Chess, obviously. So I highly urge you, for some very entertaining but also educational content, do check out that playlist afterward. Now, white can block this check with the bishop or the knight. Honestly, I'm not really sure which move is best. White plays knight to e2. I wouldn't block with the queen. Again, if you're down already a knight and a pawn, I would not trade the queens. This is the most powerful piece you have. And so therefore, you should use it to create counter chances against your opponent. You should use your most powerful attacking piece to create problems. Having said that, if you are getting checkmated, yeah, probably trade the queens because your opponent's queen will checkmate you. Black now plays a move that if I, as always, gave you 10 guesses, you would not be able to guess the move that Black plays here. It's beyond any sort of human comprehension. Black, if I asked you here, like, what should you do? You probably develop the knight, you probably develop the knight, you probably develop the bishop, you do something, you put a pawn. Yeah, Black plays the move h5. Look, Black is up a knight and a pawn after 5 moves, so theoretically Black can do anything that they want and be fine, but h5 is exotic. I mean, h5 is on another level. I don't really know. Black, yeah, whatever. White plays f3. Now, this move actually makes sense compared to the previous one. The last time that White attacked the queen just took a pawn. This time the queen has no pawn to take, so it's got to go somewhere safe. Queen d5. And now, again, if I'm playing with the white pieces here, I'm thinking, how do I get some of my pieces out? Because if I don't, I'm just losing. And I have a bad position because I'm down material, first and foremost. Now, White plays knight to f4. And, of course, this move is played with just very pure and simple intentions of attacking the queen. But the other benefit is that you are opening up your bishop. So if Black were to make a move like queen d6, attacking the knight, you have to defend the knight, but let's say now you get the center, and then next you develop the bishop, and then you castle your king, and before you know it, White can actually have a relatively normal-looking position, minus the fact that you already lost a significant amount of material. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen at all. Because after the knight went to the f4 square, Black played the move queen e5 check. And so now, again, this is a case of simply attacking pieces without actually thinking where they will go. The queen attacks the king and the knight at the same time. The only move that White can reasonably play here is to put the knight exactly where it was. Instead of that, White develops the bishop because first of all, I'm not even sure White knows that pieces can go backwards. That's like something that's added in the patch notes at around 500 elo. But the bishop goes to the e2 square because, you want a castle. That's what you were taught. And also, you moved, the knight already. You don't really want to move it again. Anyway, Black takes another piece. So Black has won a knight, a pawn, went back, checked, and now won another knight. This is actually very common. For a lot of the beginners watching this and laughing, you know that it's actually very normal that in beginner games, a queen just takes like 7 different pieces. It happens all the time. Like once a queen gets out and about, like a rampaging bull, like you just cannot stop it. It's absolutely over. It is basically hopeless. The queen is going to take every single piece. Now White should probably castle, but White plays this move. I love this move. People have huge blind spots for bishops opposite queens, like especially when they're further away. But Black is very solid here. Just drops the queen right back to the f6 square. And now White castles. And let me tell you something right now. Playing 10 moves of a chess game and being down 2 knights and a pawn, it's not good. We got to do a better job than that, all right? We can't be doing that, all right? We have to do better. h4. Black plays h4. So Black hasn't moved the knight, hasn't moved the knight, hasn't moved the knight, hasn't moved the... I also hate the way Black is playing this position. They've only moved the queen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, h5, h4, and a6 to attack the knight. Obviously, also terrible play, but at least Black has the benefit of being able to do whatever they want because they, won 2 knights. It's like when your parents let you get away with a little bit more if you get good grades. But if you're being a jackass and you have terrible grades, it's a really bad mix. So right now, Black is able to do whatever they want. Now, what is White going to do? Frankly, I have no idea. I don't know. If I'm playing with White here, I'm still trying to get my pieces out to the middle. They're more active in the middle. There's more prospects in the middle. But I'm not feeling particularly great about myself. I don't hate the move bishop c4. In fact, I really like the move bishop c4. Activating right, the rook is going to come, maybe queen. All right, we'll figure it out. Black still has not moved the piece. So everything is still on the back rank. The bishop is active, though, so maybe the bishop is going to come here. And people start picking up some patterns. One pattern to pick up in chess is the battery pattern, right? Queen and bishop working together. So maybe the queen and the bishop will team up over here. You also have the rook and the pawn, so maybe you can create some attacking chances. g3. Now, g3 is atrocious for a multitude of reasons. But really one more than any other, and that's the most important one. Uh, in a position like this, when you're down material, you got to get your pieces in the game. When I say pieces, I don't mean pawns. You got to use your queens, your bishops. You just have to get them active. You can't use your pawns. If there's a pawn you want to use here, it should be this one. Why? Because you just might open up the opponent's king. But don't touch any of the other pawns. But the second and more important reason is you just built the king a house. Most of you, I would imagine, live in some sort of a dwelling, an apartment, a house, a hostel. And if you don't, and somehow you are, you've fallen on hard times and you don't live in a house, yeah, I mean, the analogy will still hit home, but at least, I'm hoping for all the best for you in the end. Like, you can't just, sky can't be open where you're trying to sleep. Like, you built a house and then you proceeded to just drive your own car through it. Like, why would you? Because now when you play G3, you have no roof. You have no roof. It's all gonna, this is terrible. Why would we do this? And of course, black should take the pawn. And that's what black does. So far, black hasn't done anything exceptional. And a lot of you beginners make your opponents look a lot smarter than they are. They're not that smart. Now a queen can land on that square, not right away. That would be reportable. That would be one of those players in the FPS games just teleporting all over the map. Yeah, like that can't be good. You can't be playing like this. And now black plays queen h6. And of course, black has done a very good job so far throughout this game, but black has played 14 moves, and half of them were with the queen, and just like a very good beginner, black loses the queen in one move. Queen to h6. Remember how earlier I told you people are very bad at these bishop diagonals from the opposite side, and I said it only works when it's, generally further away, right? This one was a little bit too close. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about, okay? I'm not just like sitting here insulting the intelligence of 300s. That's only like 20% what I'm doing. Chess is not about intelligence. Chess is about pattern recognition, all right? Even the dumbest person can be a chess grandmaster. I would know. There are many, many, many of them, and they're very dumb. I'm not going to name any, but, if I need to make more controversial content in the future, I will. Point being, this was bound to happen. This was bound to happen. You move the queen once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's been 14 moves. And of course, you're threatening this as a byproduct of the opening of the position. And so, a new chapter of the game begins as white takes the queen. When I saw this move, I was like, I couldn't even, I get that you acknowledged the threat, but why could we not have acknowledged the threat in this position? Why could we not have acknowledged the threat? I see we're making, improvement through the game. Now, immediately after this, black comes down, white runs away. This is a free pawn with a check. You should take it. You shouldn't even think about it. Now, for some reason, black develops the knight. Black developed the knight 16 moves into the game, by the way. This is heinous for beginners. But again, black is winning, so black can do whatever they want. Now, again, I'm playing with white, trying to get my pieces out. I don't really know what to do because black has not just won material, black has also started attacking my king. Those are the two bad things that can happen in a chess game. Now, white proceeds to lose another piece. All right, white already lost 2 knights, but now white proceeds to lose the bishop, but black lost the queen. All of this in 16 moves. Do you see how just being a little bit more careful will increase your elo? Bishop to g5. This move blunders a bishop because the pawn was already hanging, and now it would also be a fork. So just with one move, you lose 4 more points of material, your king is running around the board butt naked, and you are, it's over. I don't even know what to say. Bishop g5 is also not a threat, right? This is hanging. Not hanging, because it's protected. Okay, but black plays knight h5. Not really a move I can explain. Again, if you're thinking here with black, your thought process should be, my opponent went bishop g5. What do they want? They want to take my knight. Oh, no, I'm not going to let them take my knight. That's kind of like how toddlers play. That doesn't really, that's like 3-year-old logic. Let's not do that. Is the knight hanging? No. Do I have a check? Yes, actually, I do have a check, and it also happens to win me the bishop, so it's probably the best move in the position, but also I can take this pawn, like just in case. But okay, we move the knight, just because, I don't know, because we just move it. Now this pawn's under attack, all right? I'm pretty sure white sees that, so white is probably going to move the pawn, right? Because the pawn is hanging. White goes okay. I don't hate this move. It's protecting the king. You attack the queen. It's still probably going to take on g3, but no, it doesn't. It goes queen g1. Okay, queen g1, good move. We are attacking the king first and foremost. So white now has 4 legal moves. Bishop f1, sensible. Rook f1, probably the most natural because you just move the rook up, right? So I could see that. But also the king, has to keep the rook protected. So I could see king e2 being a little bit more logical. And king d2, of course, doesn't make any sense because you just move the rook there to attack the queen, and it was, protected by the king. So you're obviously not going to go king d2, which is exactly what happens, right? White plays king e2. Okay, thankful. Nice. Now, the queen, if I'm playing with black here, I just take the queen. I don't even hesitate. Then I take the pawn with check, or I take the pawn with check first, like what happens in this game. And white obviously has to keep the rook protected, so white goes here. Yeah, like when I saw this, I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, but you just moved the king where it has to defend the rook, and you just moved the rook to attack the queen, which was just defended by the king. I don't know. And now queen takes rook, and you are down 12 points of material in 20 moves. Black hasn't even done anything exceptional. Black hung the queen. You let the queen go, and now you have to... If you're low rated and you don't know why I'm reacting like that, the knight is just going to take the queen. I don't even, you lost 21 points of material in 21 moves. Maybe that's why you did that. Maybe you like the rapper, 21. I don't know. I mean, queen e2 is bananas. And the way you're going to get out of 300 and 400 is 500 is just not playing moves that give your opponent the piece that you just played. It's just like, guys, you can all get to 1,000. But if you think we're done, we are anything but done because white continued. That's all right. Now, I love this next move, knight c6. By the way, at this point, if black wants to go rook h2 and just not develop any pieces and just go straight for the kill, be my guest. When you have a 18-point lead in material, chances are you're going to be able to attack somebody, all right? But knight c6 is played fine. Also, one more little quick tidbit here. As always, the pawns are around, right? But you can open them up with pawn trades. But in a position like this, it's also possible to sacrifice because you have such a big lead in development and material. You can take the pawn and give up a knight for 2 pawns and just, attack. Rook d1. Okay, rook d1. Now, if I'm playing black here, again, I bring in my rook or I bring in my bishop or I try to castle. Obviously, you can't because of f6, but fine. Knight a5, I think black just did that because black hopped the other knight to the edge of the board. The side hop here doesn't really do a whole lot of justice, doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But fine, again, you can do basically anything. I mean, for God's sake, you could even run your king around the entire board and survive. King c1, and just for the cherry on on top, you just give up the bishop. The king, for the second time in this game, abandons his defensive post and stops protecting the piece that he was protecting. This is ludicrous. This king should be trapped in the corner. He shouldn't even be checkmated. He should be put in cuffs and brought and apprehended in front of his people because, I mean, dude ran around the board for no reason and lost everything. He lost every important piece. The rook perished because of him. The queen perished because of him, and now the bishop as well. He caused monumental damage, and now black just plays knight c4. And black played this game as it's like I played a subscriber. It's like I was live streaming and I just, and a person with white challenged me and they're not that good and I just slowly outplayed them. And now, of course, the game is over. b3 is played, and here we are going to learn how to finish things off. Look, this is a hard move, right? Long diagonals with the bishops. We already talked about this, but you have to spot long bishop moves, especially if they are checks, right? This queen b2 mate, game is over, all right? My nose has been so itchy throughout this recording. Bishop a3, queen b2, GG. You can also play queen b2. You can't play queen d2 because then, the bishop takes you. But you can even play queen takes pawn and queen a1 and go for the rook. And in general, when you have a queen and you're attacking a king and a rook on the last rank of the board, you do this type of damage. But fine. Your knight is hanging, so you move it to a3. Great. Now your queen and knight work together, and now the only move is bringing the bishop back. That is the only way to delay it. Of course, white doesn't play it, and the game ends. Finally, beautiful game by black with queen. Okay, fine. Fine. You just wanted to take a pawn. You didn't want the game to end yet. I get it. I get it. The next game you boot up, you're going to be in an equal position again. You're not going to be totally winning. Fine. Queen takes f3. Next move is queen f2, queen c3, rook h2, rook h1, frankly. All right? Totally winning position. White has nothing left. Okay. c5. Black comes back. Great move. All right. We just wanted to rub it in. Now we're going to attack 3 more things with the move queen f2. White has no move. White goes here. GG. And then black puts the knight there. And I was like, okay, I get where we're headed. It's going to be one of those how to lose a chess episodes where black just, for some reason, just cannot find it within themselves to checkmate. It's going to take all the pawns and, is going to stalemate. Duh. Well, there's no way that a comeback is possible here. I mean, you guys are not stupid. You have been watching the series for long enough. Like, comebacks are possible, but not like this. All right, d5. Fine. I'm going to go somewhere. All right, we take the pawn. No problem. Take with a rook. And, now we go here and we just hang mate in 1.